All right, so just state your name. And what you do.
Name's Matt McKeon, head golf professional at Spring Lake Golf Club.
Sweet.
Going on my 8th season here.
8th season.
Yep.
So was there anywhere else that you spent most of your time?
I got some, I tell you, you'll see me get a little passionate about this, but my whole tour of how I actually got here. I'm born and raised in Brielle.
Okay.
So a couple miles down the street. So I married a girl from Brielle, so it was always a goal to get back here. But in reverse order, prior to being here, I was at Ridgewood Country Club as the first assistant for 2 years. Plainfield Country Club for 7 years. Last 4 of them was the first assistant. I started at the Sagamore in upstate New York on Lake George. Mm-hmm. And while there, I did 4 winters, since that was seasonal, down at Lost Street Club in North Palm Beach.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a member at Plainfield. So how'd you like that?
That was awesome. It was awesome. And that was family. That was like the first club I was working at where they treated me like part of their family. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I just loved it down here at the beach.
Yeah.
So I still commuted. I commuted for 7 years from down here up there.
Yeah.
Just to keep the life going.
Yeah. You still know a lot of people at Plainfield? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get an opportunity to go up there. Scott's always got the door open, so I bring some members up, and it's interesting. Like every year I go back, it's like, like a few less people in the foursome, like the old crew that I used to hang out with. Just moving on, and maybe some of the new guys when I was there are kind of like veterans now. Like they're on the board and stuff where they were brand new.
Yeah.
So it's cool. We've done some awesome things up there. And
You still get out with Ryan and Sean a lot? Or?
A little bit. And in the tournaments.
Yeah.
I saw those boys this past week at the Clam Bake at Hollywood. Saw them at the Pro, which they won.
Did they?
How did you
shoot?
I don't know.
Was it best ball?
Better ball partners for 2 days. They won in the playoff.
Wow.
It was like a scary guy.
It was like 5 or 6 teams.
Wow. 5 or 6 teams in the playoff?
Yeah, I think they went like 6 or 7 holes too. Sudden death playoff.
Wow.
That's cool.
But yeah, let's keep the peers close.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good group of guys between Scotty at Plainfield and David at Ridgewood and Brian down at Lost Tree. So we're always bouncing ideas off each other and helping each other out as much as possible.
Uh-huh. And now is there like just a specific part of Spring Lake that you like over Plainfield, like besides just being down the shore?
It's a great question. For one, you can shoot a better score here.
All right, yeah.
But with that, greens are a little bit bigger at Plainfield. We have the same turf quality here. They're firm, they're fast. Maybe not as much elevation change. But I use the example all the time. Like even talking to my board down here, we could swap memberships.
Yeah.
And it would all work out because they're a really awesome group up there. We have a really cool group that are just spoiled to be 8 blocks from the beach with this facility. And, it's almost comparing apples and oranges in a sense. Like they're fruits, but different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little biased about being down here.
Now, like for us, like what's a cool course that we could play around here besides Spring Lake?
Hollywood.
You think?
Well, Hollywood.
No.
I mean,
Like a public course. Like what's a...
we
played Spring Meadow the other day.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to go to Spring Meadow.
395-yard par 5.
I have to say that another thing spoiled about being down here, the shore and Monmouth County, is the Monmouth County Park System. Has Howell, Hominy Hill, Charleston Springs. There's good products. Now, being from Westfield, you're gonna have to pay like whatever it is, the non-resident rate. I don't even know what it is, but
it wasn't bad. If you played Charleston, it was $40 with cards.
Yeah. Really?
It's just dirt cheap.
That's good.
Even our county in Union, it's like stupid.
And it's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Was fun.
I haven't been out there since high school.
Oh wow.
I haven't been on any of those. courses.
I mean,
We got a spring medal yesterday.
Yeah, I mean that was cheap. That's like a higher price. It was like $20 or $55
Yeah,
with a cart. So I mean,
it's also a 6-hour round.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, you're playing on Memorial Day weekend
AT
on a public course.
yeah,
You gotta be ready for it.
yeah. We were trying to play like 8 guys
I
deep.
started us off. We
just
want to be under 4 hours.
yeah. The starter beforehand was like try to keep it under 4 hours.
You can, but everybody else in front of us completely ruined it.
Yeah. Well, out of the private clubs,
Yeah.
which one would you say is the favorite that
Down
you
here?
played? No, just that you've played in general.
I'm a little bit of a golf snob. I've gotten spoiled, and I've had some connections that have taken us around nationally for sure, but National Golf Links of America on Long Island, that's my favorite one of all time. Like, they took all
Really?
golf courses away. You can go there and play. It's awesome, friends, good match course. But, like true championship stuff, I mean, unfortunately, I've been at Oakmont and Shinnecock, some of these big boys, Southern Hills and Tulsa, just like, I'm up there. When I was working Sagamore, my boss up there was good friends with the pro at Oak Hill. We used to play there once a month.
Nice.
So, I mean, I've had those opportunities, but I know. And then you work at Plainfield, you work at Ridgewood. It's just like, you got Balti here. Hollywood just played 3 times this week. I still think I'll put it up against all of them in the state.
Yeah.
Played Pine Valley twice so far this year.
Oh my god. Twice so far this year?
Yeah, you should get down there.
Is it overrated?
Depends.
Depends.
I personally, it's not hard.
It's not hard.
I think if you can hit the ball and keep it in play, it's fine. Greens aren't overly fast. they're never really rock hard. I mean, nothing like the courses I rattled off there. I mean, Ridgewood, Mountain Ridge, Plainfield, Hollywood, they're all harder in the state of New Jersey. It's just, you just can't,
a little more exclusive.
You just can't get on Pine Valley. That's why it's number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
Like even Cypress Point, never played there, but they still allow unaccompanied groups, like 1 or 2 a day.
Wow.
And that usually bounces back and forth with PV on who's number 1. But there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
There's some really cool places that don't even make the top 100 list, and just they don't want to be.
Yeah, they stay under the radar, right?
We don't allow golf course raiders on our property.
Really? Yeah.
It's just like, what's it going to do for us?
Yeah.
We already have a wait list that's going to be probably 12 to 15 years if you're able to get on it. So it's like, we're not selling memberships. It's not really going to help out my shop sales. It's just,
Yeah.
why even do it? Yeah, he does. He does a good job.
You guys got any questions?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is kind of a little more like, it's not as general. How do you, in a sense, make golf more accessible for younger kids here? Because I know golf, obviously, when you get to a course of this tier, it's very hard to get on in general, even if you're an adult. And there's a lot of debate about how golf is accessible to younger kids and people of not, Spring Lake level.
I'm a full agreement with that whole accessibility for juniors. But with that being said, when I was hired here, the main goals were to increase the junior program and give them a little love and get the ladies programs going. So through all of my instructional programs and clinics and whatnot, we first taken like the fear out of golf for juniors and women, like make it seem like you're wanted here, not like the old regime where it was like you can play like after 4 or 5 o'clock sort of thing. So I was able through some programming and education get these kids, I'm not gonna say they have to be good at golf, but they can just handle themselves at the course, have good etiquette, know the rules, know where you can go. If the range is packed, step away if you see a full member showing up, like just learning that. So then the full golf bondholders here see like, wow, they actually know what they're doing and whatnot. So they kept giving them a little bit more and more. Probably over the last 8 years, even the time that you can play has come down 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Broken it up into different age groups. So, yeah, I mean, it was tough. I grew up at Manasquan River down the street. When I was in high school, it was like you could play after 2 o'clock and carry your bag.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's cool, but it's like a day ruiner. Here, you know, if you're a junior member, you can play with your parent at any time if you're playing with them. So we just throw them a little bit of bone, you know, throw them bone there and try to make it more comfortable for everybody. I think that's the biggest thing with the higher end private facilities is making sure newer members, juniors, women, you know, get rid of the private club anxiety and kind of learn that it's a comfortable spot. And not saying you can do whatever you want, but there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Does the first tee come down here at all? Because I know that's always up at Plainfield.
Liberty does it.
Liberty.
Yeah. We have the first tee of the Jersey Shore, maybe down at Eagle Ridge.
Okay.
I think that's the closest to us. And there's the first tee of Trenton, which the St. Rose golf coach runs for them. So occasionally we'll do some stuff.
Do you say like tournaments? MGA stuff?
Yeah, so that's a good one. In 8 years. Well, I played in the 1998 State Open here.
Did you?
That's cool.
Senior year, high school. But so since I've been here, we've had the New Jersey State Mid Amateur.
Okay.
We've held the MGA Ike Stroke Play Qualifier
That's a touchy subject for me. Don't bring that.
two or three times.
Don't bring that one up.
We're hosting the New Jersey State Senior Amateur
That's cool.
this year. We've held the U.S. Women's Open qualifier here, where Cheyenne Woods got through and Mega Gunn.
Oh, Mega.
She got through. We've held the U.S. Open Men's Local.
Okay.
So we try to do.
Oh, wow.
My goal is every year
Every
try
year.
to get one. So we've been able to, over the last 8 years, New Jersey State, MGA, USGA, men and women with USGA. So yeah, we try our best to sprinkle it around.
I can Ike be here, man.
But
I played at Black Oak.
ugh,
Missed it by one.
the Hansen, probably know Brendan Hansen. Know that name at all?
Sounds familiar.
He just graduated in Rutgers. He said he's like 300 through 9. He like limped in at even or something up there.
Black
man.
Oak.
Yeah,
It was
that place gets interesting.
I started 4 through 5 and ended 3. With him on the bag.
Yeah, he was caddy.
Good reads.
It was a day.
Oh, yeah, that's
It was fun.
a scene.
It's a tough walking course.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It was long too, right?
It
It
was,
was
like 6-8, but it was like a fake 6-8. Like I had a lot of driver wedges.
oh yeah.
It was just the par 3s were kind of stretched out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kinky course.
Yeah. It's a weird course. Yeah, that's weird.
So you go for there's one par 4 to a 3-wood.
11.
And
It
then
was we were resodding the top tee box, so it was I hit hybrid.
Oh yeah, you got lucky on that
Oh
one.
yeah, I put in the woods and still made par.
yeah, you can get weird on that hole.
Yeah.
I try not to remember. I don't know why we had to play a tournament up there, but I drove up there just to go check the place out. And I
It's
was
just sick. It's a really cool place.
I was just like, well, I told myself this is the last time I'm going there unless I'm collecting a check.
Johnny, you got anything?
I was gonna ask, what is your favorite part about like running Spring Lake and like managing everything that you do?
It's my favorite question when people are saying like, whether it's here or what do you like about being a head golf professional. I wake up every day, come to work, and not knowing what's coming at me.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my lesson schedule. I teach somewhere between 3 and 5 hours a week. I try to put a little time into practice. Fortunately, I own the golf shops. I put a little merchandising time in there, but you never know when you pop up and say, man, I got 15 minutes, or work with the superintendent on something on the golf course. That it never becomes monotonous. It never becomes boring. If anything, sometimes you take on so much that I'm like, whoa, like that. You know, get a little overwhelmed. But you got to put your time in.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it all the time with new assistants coming in. They're like, oh, I want to be a head bro like you. I'm like, well, 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks and not knowing how much you get paid, like, you got to kind of deal with it for a little while.
Yeah. When I was interviewing Ryan Hager, he was like, when I asked him what his biggest challenge was, it was just like the work-life balance.
Totally.
You'd agree?
So I got a little something different than those guys. I'm married. I have 4 kids and 2 dogs.
Wow.
So one thing that I work on, and even though I only live a mile and a half from here, right in the northern part of Manasquan, is that I try to shut it off on my car ride home.
Right.
I actually try to do it, sounds bizarre, on the way here, just to try not to bring, whether kid's sick or something mentally, and try not to bring like that extra baggage here, just so I can give you as members everything. But when I'm out of here, I mean, for a while I get caught up. Like, members are texting me, and I'll be at dinner. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you totally can answer that tomorrow morning. Like, what's 8 at night or 6 in the morning? What's the difference? 0.
Yeah.
So it is that balance, but it is awesome. Just juggling stuff and just making sure nothing hits the ground. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And still, I still compete a lot, so I got to try to keep that. Keep my game up too. So,
Right.
usually not enough hours in a day, and you just try to find a way to just jam that in over there and get that over there.
Yeah. Yep.
And then if it's slow, hop in the car and cruise home, or go to a kid's soccer game, or
There you go.
night to, it's. A lot of people are like, how do you do it?
Yeah. I feel like down here there's always something to do.
I just tell everybody, I'm like, I lace up tight in the morning and just run. And then when I'm tired, I just go to sleep. Like, just
Don't sound bad.
no. But I have to say, as an assistant, and I tell my guys are spoiled. They get compensations well. They teach a bunch. They make some decent money. They get to play with the members. It's great. But like, I couldn't even tell you the 7 years at Plainfield how much I got paid. It just wasn't in it. I was just building my resume, meeting people, getting closer with Scott, meeting all of Scott's connections. The Rolodex is just massive, and next thing you know, here you are.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, what did it say? Something about, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk about hours. I did it in front of the Assistants Association because they wanted to hear some stories. I did an interview for the job at Sagamore because he was my swing coach in college. Dennis Blake happened to have a house on Lake George, came in there, we hit it off, went out for a beer. He's like, what are you doing this winter? He's like, why don't you work at Lost Tree? I know Brian. He made a call. I was there. 2 families at Plainfield were members of Sagamore. They kept bugging me to get a resume to give to Scott Paris. Mm-hmm. Finally, I was like, I gotta tell this woman to like, I'm like, here's a resume. Like, we good? That winter, I was down at Lost Tree. Scott called me up. He's like, you coming home for Christmas? Yeah, let's have lunch. Had lunch on my way from Plainfield back down here. Called me up, offered me a job. And then started interviewing for head pro jobs. So then that was like real life stuff, and interviewed for a boatload. Sometimes you're a finalist, and then only make the first cut, final 2, get the bad call. Sorry, went a different route. And next thing you know, my phone blows up with a bunch of Spring Lake members that I know. They're like, get your stuff together. It's time to really interview. And here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you never know. You never know. So I talk to the caddies all the time. I'm like, you don't know. You spend 3.5, 4 hours with these people. I'm like, they could be your future boss.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anything else, Johnny? Or
I think we're good.
all good?
We're good.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Yeah, hope that helped out.
yeah.
Pleasure meeting you guys.
Pleasure.
Now what?